a similar strategy that we used yesterday. Going to use mixed media, some charcoal, some watercolor. What else? Maybe a little bit of acrylic paint. There we go. But we're going to focus on using this as a kind of like a stencil. This is actually one of my homemade mini mint tin plein air panels. It'll get a little paint on it, but that's okay. A little bit of a later start today. Figured we would experiment with a later start time. I'm actually feeling a little bit more conscious than I normally would be at 4 or 5 a.m. and had to kind of final inspection on this home portrait, signed it. I'm gonna let it cure, dry, if you will, and send it off. So we're doing some stuff, a little bit of writing, trying to organize my thoughts around a beginner drawing training course. So I'm gonna probably have that as a free course on the channel. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. From here on out, not a lot of talking, just gonna work away and see what happens. So, you might hear what sounds like a bear or a dinosaur. It's actually my stomach. I don't know what is going on lately. After I eat my breakfast, that's been happening a lot. Whatever. All right. Let's see. Put too much thought into this because it's probably all going to be irrelevant here. This is going to be an abstract mixed media piece here, and just never know how they're going to go. I should mention we're working on an 11 by 14 sheet of mixed media paper, 98-pound Canson. It's pretty smooth in texture. I'm using burnt willow vine charcoal, one of my favorite mediums. This is not like the other. There. I think we'll stop there with the charcoal. Yesterday, we did the same kind of start with circles that we traced from, well, I don't even remember. I think it was maybe the interior of a paint roll. And then we came through with our knead eraser and just kind of created this distortion. Which I think is pretty cool. Part of me thinks, well, I should just stop right here. I want to give you your money's worth. All right. From here, we'll do some quick washes of watercolor. And we'll see what happens. I think yesterday we started with a warm color. I'm going to start with a cool color or cool colors. Which goes against every instinct I have as a painter. Normally, if we're doing let's say oil painting, it's representational, we would start warm and work our way backwards to cool colors. And that's normally where I am in my headspace. Oops. Hate when I drop those charcoals. It's one thing to break them intentionally, it's another thing to break them accidentally. You know, I've never been a big fan of abstract art. I think mainly it has to do with what I perceive to be a fair amount of pretentiousness amongst fans of postmodern style aesthetic, always having their nose in the air, kind of frowning upon traditional values, needing, in many cases, if not most, paragraph upon paragraph of copy to explain what's going on in a particular art piece. Meanwhile, you juxtapose that against, I don't know, think of the most beautiful Impressionist or Hudson River School, Leonardo da Vinci style painting. And you're like, okay, I'll do without the academic explanation of what's going on in your inner thought process, and just lead me to the beautiful Monet painting. Still feel that way, but I found that the practice of kind of doing this sort of work um, can be fun. Doesn't need to be pretentious. Just using basic materials, not a lot of explanation, stream of conscious, just whatever happens, happens. So I would say that plus just the process of mark making, using the different instruments that we use as painters, the brush, watercolor, acrylic, whatever else, it's useful. You will not see me writing an essay on what this painting is about, though, and the horrors of society and how it reflects injustices. Or the manipulation of humanity by whatever. It's just rectangles on a sheet of paper, and I'm reacting. Trying to create something interesting. It'll probably get filed away after it dries in my folio, and maybe it'll be prepared for sale at a, I don't know, like a studio sale or something, but all it is rectangles embellished by some paint on a sheet of paper. Kind of neat though. Got some different, warmer colors. This is kind of like a magenta. There's always a little internal debate. Should I leave some of these white? I probably should, but maybe I'll just leave one of them white. We'll see. All right, do a richer red here. And this one, it's kind of like a deep rose. I'm gonna have to replace my palette soon. This is technically my wife's watercolor set, and I've used up a lot of my favorite colors. And I think what we'll do is we'll make this one a dark, cool color, and we'll leave that one white, a portion of that one white. Let's see. Let's go with this blue here. There we go. All right. I don't know, something about this kind of reminds me of being a child of the 70s, the Partridge Family bus. Paint job that was on that. All right. Kind of dress some of these up and then we'll wrap up. I'm not going to do much more after this. I was thinking about rolling some acrylic paint over this using a crumpled up grocery store bag, but I think I'm going to leave it. Strange accident, but almost looks like there's an eye here. Zoom in a little bit. You might not be able to see it, but I'm going to zoom in. total accident. Almost looks like an eye. Interesting. All right. That happens a lot. Random shapes morph into faces, blobs of paint turn into eyes, or weird hand gestures. It's funny. All right. Sometimes you want to get rid of those. Sometimes you just leave them. I'm going to leave this one. Alrighty. Let's do this. There's a couple of spots where I want to do some lifts. There we go. There we go. All right. Well, what can I do to elevate this right now? Is there anything I could do to save this? It might not need saving after it dries a little bit. The thing with watercolor is as it dries, it gets lighter. So the contrast for this is going to lessen, which will make it less interesting. So I might just build up some of these worms a little bit before we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this additional layer to this wash here on the worms was definitely warranted. This is looking a little too washed out when I was examining it before. Oops. Pretty exciting day ahead. I'm going to play with some caricature work, which is something I used to do long ago. For fun. And actually, somebody asked me to produce some caricatures for them for a coworker or coworkers. We won't be putting those up on the channel, but that might be an idea we play with in the future. There are some pretty serious artists who, not that caricature artists are not serious, But serious artists from the past, like Monet, for example, who experimented quite frequently with caricature work, caricature art. So, well, that was interesting to do. All right, so we're going to end this here. I'm going to pull up the tape. A little less going on yesterday, but sometimes less is more. Whoops, all right, some of the paper is getting, surface level is getting abused here by the tape. Yesterday's similar art piece made with circles instead of rectangles had like ink lines running through it and everything. This is much simpler, but I think I like it. I like this a lot. Might come back to this theme of rectangles, maybe squares as well in the future. All right, well, there you have it. Call it what you will. It's abstract multimedia, mixed media art piece. You have charcoal and watercolor today. And hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a great day. Remember to check out some of the educational content under the video tab and the fun playlists we have. Hike and paint is one that's pretty popular. And then I have a course called Mini Minton Plein Air Painting. That's an interesting one to check out too. Anyway, there's more. But thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Hope we'll see you again next time, which will, with any luck, be tomorrow morning. Take care.